welcome to a new video. We started a new Facebook group called Create a Smile Friends and Family. You are welcome to join us and have fun with us and chat. And while we were chatting, I've been asked if we could do some baby stems. So I would like to talk about a baby card today and how you can make our stems work for baby cards. This set, it's called Whimsical Wheels, but it's soon to be retired. So as soon as it's gone. Grab it while it's there. This has this little train and the stems that say it's a boy, perfect for baby cards with boys. Then this set called Underwater Love has the big narwhal and the baby narwhal and also a stamp that says welcome little one. Then we have the uplifting stamp set, also one that will be retired. When it's gone. And you can see the helicopter. This one could have a banner behind it having a name on top, or the bird could have a name in his banner. And I will be working today with the Poppin' Over stamp set. This is this one. And all the cute little baby critters are perfect for baby cards. And there's also a stamp set saying welcome and one that says baby. But I'm not going to use the sentiment today, but I'm going to use the little teddy bear because I think a teddy bear image is perfect for every baby card. So I would like to share some techniques with you today, and I'm using the ovals, the stacked pierced ovals, for a shaker card because I thought a shaker card with a little extra could be nice, and I thought I would try to make a frame using two of the larger banners or ovals. So I placed them on some sticky paper. This is like post-it tape. So I placed them on top to create a nice frame, and then I used the Easy XSS powder tool to make sure that all the rest of the paper wouldn't stick, because I will be die cutting my paper and I just wanted to make sure that the paper would not stick to that post-it tape later. Then I used some distress inks for the background, and I'm using Dusty Concord, Peacock Feathers and Broken China because I thought that a bluish purple background could work for baby cards for boys and girls, but today I'm going to make a boy card. However, I think that the color for your card can make your card look like a baby card. So I sprinkled on some water because you know distress inks are reactive with water, and I wanted to have some droplets. That looks pretty nice to me. And then I die cut the frame. And now I have a tip for you. I had no chance to poke through the holes to get all the little circles out there. But if you heat your dies, they will get hot, and the steel extends a little bit, and then they fall off just easily. And my hero works in a steel company, and I asked him, will this harm the steel? And he said, I don't think that a heat gun can have a sort of heat that can really harm your metal. So it will just spread out a little bit and then get back to normal when it cools down again. I also cut that same shape from what's it called? From some fun foam. So we have 2 layers of fun foam, and I only used the larger die, so not a frame, but the whole entire oval panel from some acetate because we need the window to close that. And then I made a mistake. I will cover that later, but it's not on the video, so I'm telling you. I tried to use the multi-matte medium from Ranger to adhere the fun foam, and it all fell off afterwards, so I had to use glossy accents instead. The glossy accents worked just fine. The card is closed now and it works all well, but I really had some issues, so I thought I'd let you know because I cut it out from the video because I was kind of frustrated. Okay, so I added the 2 layers of fun foam just to get some dimension to add my sequins and my shaker stuff in there. And you can see I also kept all the little sprinkled dots that came off the die. So all the cut out little circles, I kept them because I thought they would look nice in the shaker. They have the same color like the background. And then I used the same ink. This is the Dusty Concord and just some leftover ink that is on the, I think it was the Broken China blending tool, and I created a star background because I think stars are nice for babies. In fact, this card is not for a baby that's just born, but you could use it for one. The baby that will get this card is about 1 year old, so this will be for the first birthday, but your card could totally be for a newborn. So then I adhered the fun foam to my card, and that worked quite well. So the multi-matte medium had no problem adhering paper and fun foam, but with fun foam to fun foam that was a problem. Then I used some pretty pink brush sequins. I have Sea Breeze and Aquamarine, some clear and some Pansy Purple. Just the colors that we used. And I also used the die that comes in the same oval shaped set, and there are 3 little dies that create some kind of confetti with hearts and stars, and I thought this would be nice for the shaker as well. So I added them in some teal color to go well with the rest of the card. And then I added my little sequins, and I used the powder tool, of course, to make sure that the sequins and the shaker stuff would not stick to the ovals. I have to admit I had some issues because I had to take it off, all off again after the multi-matte wouldn't stick, and I had to put it back together. So I had to refill it a bit because all the stuff started sticking in between the layers of the fun foam and the paper and the acetate. So I would not recommend multi-matte medium for this, or maybe I didn't put it aside for long enough to dry. So this is the point where I closed that, and I put it aside to dry for about 20 minutes. And maybe that was just not enough. I'm not sure. But however, the glossy accents worked just fine. So maybe just use the glossy accents instead of the multi-matte medium. Now I'm going to stamp the little bear from the Poppin' Over set, because I wanted to have an image that is in a neutral color. We have the blue, we have the purple, we have some colors going on already, and I didn't want to go overboard with color. So I thought a neutral color would be nice. And my Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad is not juicy anymore, so I need to get a new one. That was why I used the fun foam underneath my paper to have like a cushion a little bit, so that gives a better stamp impression for me. Then I used the W series from the Copics to color this little bear. So I used the W7, W5, W3 and W1. I don't think I used the W0, but I'm not quite sure about that. So I just added some shading, tried to get some highlights also, and tried to really give some shape to his nose. I'm actually trying to, you can see there, I tried to get some shape to his nose. I am not a super colorist though. I'm not Francine, I'm not Sandy Allnock. I'm just trying out what works for me, and I'm trying to get some shadows, because I know you can just use the colors to make lines where there are no lines. You can add so much dimension and so much depth and shapes and all that to your images just by coloring, and I'm trying to learn that. But it's a process, and I think with every card that I do and with every experiment that I make, it gets better. So I think this little nose turned out quite well, and it has some dimension to it. And I think, yeah, practice makes the pro, you know. I'm not a pro, but I practice and practice and practice, and I don't stop practicing. And the sounds that you can hear now, that's a cat just sneaking around here. Okay, so I took quite a while to color, now that I noticed that. But you can see the caps, and you can see what I'm using just to add some shadows. And after I was done, I noticed that some of the ink bled through the lines. And what I like to do is, just like everyone, we use the colorless blender to push back the color. But I find that if you really saturate your paper with the colorless blender and you then let it dry, it seeps back. So if the paper is wet, full of the alcohol, the dark ink seeps back after a while. So I try to use my heat gun to make it dry before it has the time to seep back where I don't want it. So that is why I use the colorless blender, heat that, use the colorless blender, heat that, and I was able to fix that, even if that was the W7, which is quite dark. That was not a big issue, because now the lines are fine to me. Then I did some fuzzy cutting, and I cut it straight to the bottom of his paws, because I knew I wanted his paws to stick out from the oval. but I left a little white border around the rest of it. Then I cut the paws off the hat because I really had to play a bit with the positioning of that. I tried to figure out how this could work for me, because I didn't want him to stick from the side but not from the bottom, like in between. And by cutting them off, it was an easy job to do. And now this little bear is just popping over, that's the name of the set, popping over from behind the shaker, kind of that, or out of the shaker. Whatever, we have something to shake, we have that little bear, and I think this is nice for a baby card. And the colors, they are pretty soft, and soft colors always work for baby cards. And of course you could do it in pink for a girl, although I'm a girl and I don't like pink at all, so I don't think that all the girls should get pink stuff. But maybe a light yellow would be nice as well, or some green tones. You could do whatever you want, whatever floats your boat, whatever you think the baby might like or the parents might like, whatever. Now it's time to add a name, because I think for baby cards some customized, personal, adding the name of the baby is quite nice. So this is one of our acrylic blocks. It's the rectangular, I think it's the 8 centimeter. And I use the crystal letters. And what I love about the crystal letters, we talked to our manufacturer and we asked him to cut the photopolymer in a way that you can just mount your stamps right next to each other, and they get a nice even spacing between the letters, and it works out quite fine. You can just mount them just next to each other and you get a perfect spacing. But my issue was that I needed the N 2 times and I hadn't 2 ends, so I had to use it twice, and then I did not get the spacing right, but that was my fault. You can see the N was too far apart and the O was kind of squeezed too close. But I embossed that with some aqua color, and then I colored that with some purple, and that's the same distress ink, so that way you get a nice matching color, so it all has one color scheme. And I added a lot of water and a really light wash of that, and then I used some darker ink, so with less water on the bottom portion of the letters to get kind of an ombre look. And I think this turned out quite nice. Then I dried it with my heat gun from behind, and because the spacing was not right and I wasn't too happy with the white background, I decided to cut them, fuzzy cut all the letters and just adhere them to the card. If I had known where to place the name, I wasn't really sure where to put it. If I had decided on that earlier, I would just have embossed the letters right onto the card. So sorry, I'm off camera right now. I didn't notice I was. Obviously. So I tried to find the right placement, and now that I know that I want to have it on the side, I just use my tape runner and adhere those fuzzy cut letters onto my card. As I said, I could have just embossed that right onto the card, but this way I get a clean look as well, and I'm fine with that. I could have popped them up, but I thought they would look nice just like that. And that finished the card. This is the baby card for Fenno. Fenno is my friend's son, and I hope you like the card. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please join our Facebook group. Bye bye!